Hey, how are you? We're here. It is episode number 247 of our button show. What does this button do? All right. Should we get right into it?
Yep.
Okay. It's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us geeks on tour. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We're getting real close to that 10,000 mark, and we would really like to see it, as Ron keeps reminding us. So, and click the bell. That way you'll get notified whenever we go live, and it's kind of fun to do that. Chris likes to start off with a tip every week. What do you have?
So our topic today is sharing photos with Google Photos. And this first tip is kind of a down and dirty way of getting a photo somewhere that maybe you didn't think could be done. So for example, Facebook. I want to show you this on the computer. So if you're in Facebook and you want to get a photo from your Google Photos, I've heard a lot of people complain that it can't be done. If you click where you're supposed to write something, oops, I'd already been playing with this, and click on photos and add photos, all it does is take you to your hard drive. So if your photos are in the cloud in Google Photos, you can't get them. Or can you? So I'm going to leave this started post open and I'm going to go over to my Google Photos and I can copy a photo with a right click and copy image. Now I can go back to Facebook and right click and paste. So that's my little kind of down and dirty little trick to get photos from Google Photos to Facebook with copy and paste. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
You can also do that with Twitter. So I start a new tweet and I right click and paste. And there's that photo in Twitter. But before you get too excited, I'll go to LinkedIn and right click and paste and nothing happens. So it does not work everywhere. But if you're having issues with getting a picture from Google Photos into someplace, give it a shot. It might work. But also realize that you're just getting a small version. You're getting a low resolution version of that picture. Now for social media, that's no big deal.
No big
But just be aware.
Okay. Very good. Well, hi everyone. I'm Jim, and here together with my wife Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPads or your Android phones or your other devices? And how do you learn? How do you learn?
Well, you tell somebody that you're going to teach them, and then you have to learn. That's how I do it. But we are geeks.
Oh,
We've been propeller heads, also known as propeller heads, for a very long time. But we are a little bit different because we are geeks who teach. And we think the best way to learn technology is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. All of our content is collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
All right. Where are we now, Chris?
Well, the reason that we call ourselves Geeks on Tour is because we do a lot of traveling.
Yeah, I love to travel. That's one of the things that got us together.
Yep. And last week we were on a Caribbean cruise. There's a few pictures from that, but we are back. We are home for another 3 weeks before we go diving in the Bahamas.
Some friends are coming to visit from the UK, and they want to go to Bimini and do a little diving and a little fishing and a little relaxing. And so we
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I guess it's getting kind of chilly over there. I wouldn't, yeah, anyhow.
Oh, in the UK.
In the UK.
I would say in Bimini? No, I don't think so. I hope not.
No, not in Bimini. Goodness gracious, it's gorgeous over there. It's 49 in Staunton, Virginia, though. And Ron is up in Comox near Vancouver in British Columbia. And he says, be sure they're very close. So that's what I was talking about. sign up or subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Tom Parks, Glastonbury. Okay. Stephen Turney. Look and listen. Hi, Judy. Cool,
Hey,
Judy.
Judy.
Good to see you.
Unhappy camper.
Oh,
Oh, Visa card was hacked.
I
Uh-oh.
hate when that happened. Berlin, I bet it's getting a little cool over there too. And you invited friends. We invite you all to invite friends and have them subscribe as well. Right, Ron?
You might also want to invite them because I see that Ron Tech for Senior is here. We are going to be guest presenters for the Tech for Senior show tomorrow, Monday at noon Eastern time. It's a Zoom meeting also on YouTube, and I put a link to their website in the description below this video. We're going to be talking about smartphone photography.
Cool. And all you others, Joseph, Jay, Jolin, good to see you. Bill Jordan. Okay. And Joel from Southern California. Honey Bert, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And a little cool New Jersey. Good to hear that. At least it's sunny. Rain and snow mix in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. That would be no, thanks. Snow-free Finger Lakes. And
Good to see everybody.
all right, I'm almost to the
Thanks
end there.
for coming.
Bob. Everybody's giving hugs. Bob Gostisha, I hope your voice is coming back. We need to get you on as a guest on the show, so that would be a good thing. And Ola from Barbara,
Colorado.
we're in skis.
Okay,
that's enough. Stop that. Chris is specializing in Google Photos. Did you know that she wrote this book on Google Photos and she has copies of it? And
Yeah,
you can get those copies at either Amazon or on Kindle, or well, that's the best way to do it. Get them on Kindle.
And chapter 9, what we're teaching today is all about sharing, and it's in detail in chapter 9 in the book.
Okay. I want to thank our premium members. They make our work possible. And
as a perk to our premium members, you get the PDF version of the book. So if you're a member, you can just go to the tutorials menu and ebooks. You'll see the Learn Google Photos book there, and you can download it and print it or just read it on your computer or whatever.
Okay. Here's something else that's new.
Yeah, we're doing a free webinar, and the first time we're going to offer it is this coming Thursday. You can scan that code and be able to register for it. It's do more with Google Photos. I mean, if you use Google Photos, you like Google Photos, but you say, gee, I'm sure there's more that I could learn how to do. One of the things is I made that little Christmas card, and I will show how I did that on Thursday. It's free, December 8th, 2 p.m. Scan that code or click the link that's below the in the YouTube.
In the YouTube.
Below this video in YouTube.
And we'll put it in on Facebook as well, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And the backstage pass for our premium members. We have an online meeting right after this show. We call it a show. And you should get a link from Chris. She sent out an email earlier today, or you can go to our website, geeksontour.com, go to the member login page, and you'll see the link there after you log in, right?
Right.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Sharing pictures.
There you go.
It boggles my mind how many different ways there are to share pictures. So if a friend of yours says, oh, send me that picture, make sure to have a little conversation about where they expect to find it, okay? Because there's so many ways. But when it comes to Google Photos, realize that all of your photos are stored where? In the cloud, in your Google account. So there's two ways of getting them somewhere. You can either be in the destination and go get, I call that pull, a photo from your Google Photos. Now, in order to do that, the destination app needs to have permissions to your Google Photos. So that's what's not going to work everywhere. I will show you, I will demonstrate. You can do it with Gmail and you can do it with Apple iMessage, and I'll show that. But the way that works better is if you are in Google Photos and you push the photo out to somewhere else. That means that the destination doesn't have to have permissions to your Google Photos, which is the way I kind of like it, actually. So if you use Gmail, it's quite easy. If you use Gmail with the same Google email address as you use Google Photos, then they already have permissions. They're in the one account. So there's a button on your Gmail screen on the computer that looks like a little image. And that means insert image. No, stay on that one. And once you click there, you have the choice of going to your photos or albums, meaning your Google Photos. You can also upload from your computer, but the point here is sharing your Google Photos. So let me show you on the computer. So I've already started an email here. I've addressed it to Alan, and I've said, here's that photo you were asking about. And it's so pretty. I'm going to go get that photo. I'm going to pull it in from Google Photos by clicking on this little, it says insert photo if you hover over it. Insert photo, and then photos and albums. That is referring to Google Photos. Upload means it's on your computer, or web address means it's just somewhere accessible on the web. I'm on Photos, and here are all of my Google Photos. And here's that picture of a waterfall that I just think is so pretty. I click on it and I click insert. Now I have the choice of inline or as attachment over here on the right. Inline means it will be visible right in the body of the email. Attachment means it'll be an attachment. I leave it at inline and click insert. So that's how you can use Gmail on the computer and add a Google Photos picture. Now, what about on your Android phone? I think that's the next slide. Yeah, so Gmail on Android, you click on the paperclip. That's what inserts something, and then there will be further choices. And let me show you that. So I open Gmail and compose a new email. And I'm not going to take the time to address it. I tap on the paperclip and attach file. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, though. These are just photos that were taken by this device. True. So it's not right there. It's browse files in other apps. And you scroll over until you see Google Photos. And it is showing me all 93,907. And that's actually, this is the only way I know of to find an exact count of all of your photos. So I tap there, and now I have all my Google Photos, and I can get that waterfall again. It's a little ways back there, and done. And it inserts it into the email. Now, you can't do too many this way because this is actually getting all 3.2 megabytes of that photo. So after just 2 or 3 photos, the email is going to say, sorry, can't handle anymore. So that is Gmail on the computer and on an Android. It doesn't work on an iPhone. even though you have Gmail on your iPhone and you have Google Photos on your iPhone, this feature doesn't work on the iPhone. But something that does work on the iPhone that really surprises me is iMessage. So assuming that you have Google Photos installed on your iPhone, then you can use Apple's texting, the iMessage, and start a new message. And if I say I'm going to send it to Jim, and down here on this toolbar here, you scroll over, you scroll over and you will see Google Photos. And that is all of the Google Photos. You can pick a picture and then you can send it. Now, because I didn't dress it properly, but you can actually attach a Google photo into an iMessage. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Sharing with other Google Photos users, though.
Okay, so that first one was about the few places where the app has access to your Google Photos and can bring it in. Now, this one is sharing strictly with Google Photos to other Google Photos user. And if you get used to this, it's really cool. But if you're not used to it, then people will say, I never got your picture. So just watch this. I'm going to demonstrate on the phone. No, on the computer first. So we go to Google Photos. And let's say I want to share this photo. I click the share button. I call that a 3-dot slingshot. And the first options that come up is all of the contacts in your contacts. Let's say that this person isn't in your contacts, but you know that their email, and it's an iCloud email. NotGuest1@iCloud.com. I'm just doing this because I want to make it clear that this only works to people with a Google account. You cannot send it to a person with an email address that isn't attached to a Google account. Now, it doesn't have to be gmail.com, but it has to be attached to a Google account. And the way you know... Share files with non-Google accounts. I sent it in a notification to your phone. Yes, our home is talking to us. See, when you see an address show up in the list and you select it from the list, you know that that is a Google account. You better make sure that this is the right person. You don't want to be sending to... Okay, so I can then say something.
Nice picture.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. And I click send. Now, the thing to know, though, where did that go? Alan is our imaginary friend, and this is Alan's phone, and I just heard it buzz. So the photo I just sent to him, it says that there is an attachment that he just got. No, that's not a... That picture went to his Google Photos. This is a share in Google Photos. So if I open Google Photos, and still, I don't see it. Where is it? It's under sharing. See the red dot next to sharing? Chris Gould sent a photo, and there it is. But you see why people will say, well, you sent me a photo, but I never got it. Because it didn't come to them the way they expected it to come to them. You have to make sure, if you're going to use this method, you got to make sure they use Google Photos and they know that the photo shows up in their sharing section. But if you do, this is a great way. It's like another texting app meant primarily for photos. So it has the whole thread. Every time I have sent a photo, every time I've sent a photo to Alan in this message, it's recorded in this sharing, in this conversation. That's what it's called. It's called a conversation. All right. Back to slides. And I think
time for questions.
And well, there was a video.
There was.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play it?
Yes.
You said you might not want to. I will.
Okay. Yeah. 6:38. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour and Learn Google Photos. I want to show you how you can use Google Photos, the most efficient way to send pictures from one person to another if both people are using Google Photos. So this is a direct from Google Photos to Google Photos. You open up your Google Photos, you select the pictures you want to send, long press on the first, tap on the subsequent ones, tap the share button. This is an iPhone, it's the square with the up arrow. On an Android, it's that 3-dot slingshot. And then this top section, send in Google Photos. You just select the person that you want to send to, and if you don't see them right away, you can go to more and find them. I'm going to send to Marilyn. Now this is going to go straight to her Google Photos, not through email or anything, but you can say, and send. And that's going directly to her Google Photos. Now, if this is the first time you've done this with Marilyn, she will get an email saying, hey, go check your Google Photos. Chris sent you some pictures. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you this on the computer. So here is Marilyn's email, and here is the notification. Chris Gould shared photos with you. But you're not seeing them right in the email. They're in your Google Photos, and it says click here to see them. It takes me to Google Photos, to the sharing section, and there are the photos. Now, if I want to keep these, if I just want to look at them, then we're done. If I want to keep them, then I click on Save to Library, or if Marilyn wants to keep them, I mean, you click on Save to Library, and now they are copied into your Google Photos library. So that's how you share photos directly from one Google Photos account to another Google Photos account.
Okay.
All right. Now, are there questions?
Let's see. Joel has something here. I sometimes put album links in Facebook posts. This is any easy way, or is there any way to share lots of photos with many people when the audience is either friends or a particular group?
Yeah, I don't think that's a question. I think he's saying that that's the way he does it. And yes, Joel, you've already skipped to the end. I said I was saving the best method for last.
Well, now we don't have to do it.
Right,
see you all later.
Right. Yeah, a link to an album is such a great way for sharing.
Okay. Jalen, she refers to the book. What she's talking about here is the book that Chris wrote is alive, and she has a blog part to it, right?
There's a website for updates to the book. The book was written in 2021. There's been a few changes.
Oh,
it's all on the
signed
website.
Up. We'll have to check that out.
Oh, cool. All
Very
right.
cool. Best way to get a photo received as text message into Google Photos?
Received as a text message into Google Photos. Okay, so you've received a photo and it's in your text messaging. You want it in Google Photos. All you have to do is save it. Most text messaging apps have a way to just save the photo from the text message to the device. Once it's on the device, Google Photos sees it and will upload it to your Google Photos.
Okay, sharing with people who don't use Google Photos using email or text.
Okay. So let's say that I am sharing to Jim, and he doesn't use Google Photos.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
I
He
better.
absolutely does. But maybe for some reason he doesn't want it sent to Google Photos. He wants it in an email or a text message. You tap Google Photos, and this is on the iPhone. This works just the same on the Android. In Photos, he says, those purple flowers. I need the picture of those purple flowers. And I want the actual file sent to me in an email. I share. And remember this first section here? What's that? That is send in Google Photos. Just direct from one Google Photos to another. It shows up in the sharing section. So that's not what he wants. My other choice is save to device. That doesn't help. Share to. And then you have all these apps down here. So you can share to Twitter. You can share to Facebook. So this is the push method. We are in Google Photos. I say, here's a photo to share, but I want to share it to an email message. And I address it. And purple. And I send. He gets an email with that picture visible right in the email. And so same thing with text. I can choose a photo. Remember, I'm pushing. I'm in the photos and I'm pushing it out. I choose a photo. I share to, and choose the texting app. And address it. Jom. And send. MMS needs to be enabled. I can't, I don't use this method. I have some setting not set right on my phone, but if that setting was set right, it would work.
Sure.
How's that? How's that?
Yeah, that works for me.
For song and dance.
All right. Where are we now?
So that was sharing to an email or text.
Okay.
This is for somebody who doesn't use, if they use Google Photos, send it to their Google Photos. Just make sure they know where to find it. If they don't use Google Photos, you can share to whatever they want.
Good. All right. Next. Sharing with people who don't use Google Photos and sending a link.
So a link is really the best way. Remember I said you could send photos via an email, but if you actually are putting the photos in the email, it's going to get full right away. What if you want to send somebody a whole bunch of photos? You get a link from Google Photos and you just put that link, and let's show the video.
Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this tutorial video is about using Google Photos to share photos using a link. This is my favorite way of sharing because it can even be a large number of photos or videos, because all your recipient receives is a link. Anyone with the link can then see all the photos. Let me show you how. So this is my imaginary friend Alan's iPhone, and I happen to know that Alan has a lot of pictures of my mom, and I would like to have them. So I even sent him an email. So this is Alan's phone. I sent Alan an email saying, could you please send me all the photos you have of my mom? So let me show you how I would do that. Open Google Photos, and I don't even have to find the photos of Mom because Google Photos has already done that in People albums. So I open up the People album. That face is my mom. And so here are all the pictures of her. Step 1, select all the pictures you want to send. Long press on the first one until the little blue check mark appears, and then I can just drag down through all, and they are now all selected. 78 items, both photos and videos. Now I tap Share. On the iPhone, it's that square with the up arrow. And this time I'm going to create a link. So it has taken all of those photos and just made a link to all of them. And now it is copied and I can share it in an app. Well, I want to reply to that email. So I'm not going to use any of the options here. I'm going to go back to that email and reply. And here you go. Now I just have to paste the link that has already been copied. Long press and paste. There's the link and send. Now we'll see what that looks like on the receiving end. Okay, so here I am at my Android phone, my Samsung, and I'll check my email. And there is the email from Alan. Photos of Mom, and notice all I have is a tiny little email with some text in it, but that text happens to be a link, and I don't even have to have a Google account. I would be able to view these pictures even if I didn't have a Google account, and certainly do not need to have Google Photos. But if you do happen to have Google Photos, as I do, I can, with one tap on this little cloud with the down arrow, copy all of these pictures that came from Alan. If I tap on that little down arrow, they will instantly be all in my Google Photos library. So just one tap, added to library. And if you don't have Google Photos, you can still download these pictures to your device by one by opening it, three-dot menu, and download.
Okay.
All right, so that was on mobile. Let me show you on computer. So I'm in Google Photos, and let's say I want to just share all the photos from Saturday, November 26th. All I have to do is click that one little check mark, and all photos from the day have been selected. 27 photos. So somebody asked me, Alan asked me, send me all the photos you took on this day that we were together. 27 photos selected, and I click share. But now instead of sharing to Alan, because where's that going to go? That's going to go to his Google Photos sharing. I create link. So create link, and copy. Now I can paste that link anywhere. So let's say that it's Alan and a bunch of other people. I could address this email to several people. Paste the link. Okay, now say, and here are all the photos from that day.
It's kind of small.
It's really small, yeah. I have it. Okay, so there. See that a little bit better? And when I click send, everybody who was addressed on this email will get that one picture that I used the other technique, and will have this link. When they click the link, whether they have a Google account or not, they will see all the pictures and videos. I keep saying just pictures, but pictures and videos all the same.
All right. Sharing to Facebook is problematic with their new security features. I can't figure Facebook out.
Well, Ron, did you try the copy and paste? You know, it's worked for me like a charm and still does. So yeah, that's the way I like. Although you can on both the computer version and the mobile, you can share to Facebook and it should go.
That's the way I do a lot of them.
Yeah. Copy and paste is really nice if you just have one or two pictures, and then pasting a link. That should also work no problem in Facebook.
Thanks, John. Okay. Send a link.
All right. So here's the best for last is what I said about sharing albums with a link. And so just make an album first. Instead of selecting a bunch of pictures and sending them all, you make an album, get a link to the album, and then send that however you want, in an email, in a Facebook post.
Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this quick video is about how to share an album with a link. So in Google Photos, first find your albums, then open the album you want to share, and click the share button. This is on the web, on a web browser, either Mac or Windows. Then create link and copy. Now you can paste that link wherever you want, in a Facebook post or in an email. So you would just right click in your email or Facebook post or whatever and paste. And when people receive that link, they can click on it and see your pictures. On an Android phone, it looks like this. I'm in Google Photos app. I find my albums. I open the album I want to use. I find share. And then get link. And link is copied. Now I can go somewhere else and paste that link. On an iPhone, Google Photos, find your album, open the album. Share is under the three-dot menu. Then you have to do share to and create link. And copy. Now you can go somewhere else and paste. So, for example, long press and paste. Sharing a link to an album is the most efficient way to let other people see your pictures.
Very good.
And you can put that link anywhere. So imagine that you have a blog and you want to include a bunch of pictures. Just put a link to your album. On our blog, I do that for all our photo albums. So, for example, here's 2018 full year album. This is my blog using Blogger. Love to teach Blogger to anybody who wants to learn. And here is a link to the 2018 full year album. I click that, and it takes you to those and that album. And the great part about using albums is for travel. So I know that several of you followed us when we went to Italy earlier this year. And what we do is start them on day one. We share that link with all y'all. And anybody who looks at that link and So it's a wonderful way. It's like my own personal Facebook, because people can comment on pictures. I think we did a whole other episode on using yeah, and it's especially wonderful for travel albums. People, as long as you add photos each day while you're traveling, the people who are following your album will see those new photos.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. This review photos. Be sure to review photos when sending all. We take pictures that are not on one subject during the course of the day. I have used photos of our trip here for arrival and departure that would be boring.
Okay, I think you're thinking of when I took all photos from a day. I really never do that. I just made it so that it would be quick and easy to let a bunch of photos. I always put them in an album. And by the way, they're not people until you take steps to share individual photos or an album of individual photos. They only see what you shared.
Well, apparently we're having some technical issues out there. We apologize.
Whoa.
I don't know why.
That's new.
Yeah. It looks like all the stuff, but I keep getting, it could be our internet. We did have an issue this week with our internet connection. I believe we're just about getting through it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it yet. And we have this slide here. So review.
We just covered, and there's even more, but we covered 7 different ways to share photos.
Well, keep going.
Copy and paste, Gmail, iMessage, sending in Google Photos conversations.
And okay. Looks like we're in and out. Okay.
Okay.
True or false? You
over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to soldier on. The show must go on. When photos are sent
Photos or to a friend in text. Google Photos. And where they show up under the sharing tab.
Okay. When photos are sent in Google Photos, where do they show up?
No, I did that one.
Gee.
Yes.
I'm getting totally flustered with this stuff. The best way to share photos is with a link. Anyone with a link can do it. B, if they join the album, they'll see in future editions. C, it doesn't take up any space. D, all of the above.
All of the above. It is just the best way to share photos.
Okay. If you use Gmail with the same address that you use for Google Photos, you can attach photos to an email using Gmail on the web, using Gmail on Android, or using Gmail on iPhone.
The first and second, it doesn't work on iPhone.
Okay. If you can still see us, I'm going to try the Backstage Pass. It's a Zoom meeting after this show. You get the link from Chris's email that should have gone out this morning, or you can go to geeksontour.com/member login and get the link there. I hope you can see it. Sign up for our newsletter. You can click that QR code or just go to our website, geeksontour.com/news, and sign up. We promise not to abuse your email address. Do more with Google Photos. This is the webinar that's probably going to break the whole internet. Sign up. It's free. It's basically a way that we want to, another new way that we can stay in touch with all y'all. So we'll see how that works. Sign up for the newsletters, become a member, subscribe to the channel, take the rest of the day off. What's the web page that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show.
All right. And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find all our newsletters under there.
Premium members. Why do people pay $60 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
They get certain perks, one of which is the Backstage Pass. We have Zoom meetings that are private just for members only. They get to ask us questions on the Q&A, access to hundreds of tutorials, several ebooks, and some people join just to say thank you for all the stuff we do for free.
Okay. And where did my slide? Become a member at geeksontour.com. Backstage Pass. I think so. We'll try that. And there we go. I'm Jim. And
I'm Chris.
And we're
geeksontour.com.
For travelers. We'll see how that goes. Oh, Michael, thank you so much. Yeah, that'll make it worth it. We appreciate you. We'll see how this goes.